Nico Collins goes on injured reserve, a theory about why. Plus, CJ Stroud, is he still being asked to do too much? What did he have to say today? And a lot of guys on the injury report. Let's go inside the locker room.
Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlocked. Got the game.
All right, Nico Collins. He's on injured reserve. That was the big news today. We'll get into that. CJ Stroud, we'll hear from him, was also at practice. Got to ask DeMeco Ryans a few questions, as well as some other members of the Texans who, quite frankly, they're pretty beat up right now. This Texans squad is really beat up. They're missing one of the best players in the NFL so far this season in Nico Collins. And that's far from all that they'll be missing. Let's first hear from DeMeco Ryans, who was at the podium. One of the surprise absentees from practice was Kamari Lassiter, and right now the Texans have been playing two corners and two linebackers, which is really it's creative stuff from DeMeco Ryans. It's amazing. It's worked, and it's the chances are in this league it's going to be damn near impossible to just have two guys at a certain position playing, and we don't know what's up with Kamari Lassiter. It's a shoulder. But I asked DeMeco Ryans, Coach, how confident are you in your cornerback depth? You say your defense isn't going to change. I've been doing some different things. Tell me about it, Coach.
Play our defense. It won't change.
You've been playing two corners and two linebackers a lot. No Lassiter today. You feel comfortable about the depth at cornerback if he's not able to go?
Yeah, I feel great about the depth of our entire team. At the end of the day, that's why guys are in the roles they're in. That's why guys are in the league. And everybody understands the importance of their role, and you can always be called on to step up and play in a game. So our guys are prepared. They prepare the right way. They work really hard at it. So I'm excited to see, a lot of different guys step up this week.
I don't know about excited. We could get more into that a little bit later on in the show. I don't know about excited. I don't even know about intrigued. And quite frankly, I think the way to mask this, any of this concern or any of the lack of ability to be able to function at a high level as a number two corner, depending who they put in there, I think it's going to be the pressure. I was just watching Around the Horn, the rerun downstairs. I'd watched my show and it was on, and they were talking about Barnwell and Mina Kimes were talking about how crappy New England's O-line is, like at a historically bad level. They're allowing about 50% pressure every time they drop back. And on the flip side, the Texans aren't getting as many sacks, but they're pressuring nearly 50% of the time. So that's not a good combination. So we'll get into the Nico Collins. How the hell do you replace that? We're actually going to get into that on SNL tomorrow at 9 a.m., which you can hear Monday through Friday. How you replace Nico Collins, what's realistic there, the formula for winning without one of your best players. But from a cornerback position, I think it just starts from up front. And it's not like New England has really, really good receivers. So I think that's going to be the recipe there. Let's look at the rest of this injury report before we get into this Nico Collins situation. And we look up at the injury report. Derek Barnett's still out. He's got a hurt shoulder. Who knows? Tomorrow could tell a lot with him. Stefon Diggs limited. It was just rest. The Kenyon Green situation was interesting. He was on the practice field early, and then I'll just be honest. I was getting in the car and I saw him going into the building. And you're not really, that's the practice was closed, but when the guy drives right by me in a golf cart, you just kind of wonder what was going on there. But he was out there originally and he ended up leaving. So I thought it was interesting that I saw him in the cart, and then I thought it was interesting just to see him leaving. So I don't know what's up with Kenyon Green. I would keep a close eye on that. He's been banged up all year, I will say that, and he's been available pretty often, but he was actually on the practice field at the start. It says did not practice. The confusing thing is during open portion, he was out there, and then it says he didn't. Well, I saw him. I saw him out there, and then he left. So who knows what's up with that. Jake Hansen, he's got the hurt back. Haven't seen him. Heinisch, full participant. Does it matter? Is he going to go? Who knows? Titus Howard and Laramie Tunsil both out. Tomorrow will probably be more telling on them. We mentioned Lassiter with the shoulder. Mixon as well. Damian Pierce, limited, but he was out there. Seems pretty giddy. And then Jimmy Ward, we don't see Jimmy Ward this week. I think it's pretty safe to say. And Robert Woods has had that foot thing all year. They might as well just put old instead of foot there. I think that's kind of the case with Robert Woods. So that's how I would look at the injuries. Thursday is a little bit more telling. Wednesday's interesting. Matt Maher with the super, swarming the super, my guy. You ain't never hate. Swarm. Should have kept Mike Ford, SMH. I don't think they needed Mike Ford. Akuda's still out there. Sarah's asking who would be CB2. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know if they feel comfortable putting Des King on the outside. I don't know if they feel comfortable putting Miles Bryant on the outside. Akuda's still not ready to go. I don't know what they do at CB3. To be honest with you, I don't know, but I do love that movie CB3, Cell Block 3, straight out of Low Cash, crazy mother named Gusto. If you know, you know. If you don't, you're like, what the hell is this honky ass dude talking about? But yeah, we'll see what they do defensively with the other corner. I think it's going to start up front with the with just the pressure and all that type of stuff. Someone says, they asked the question, any truth to the Deebo talk or wishful thinking? I don't know. And the Deebo Samuel hypothetical trade came up today. I mean, it was presented as a hypothetical trade, and it was presented as EA Sports somewhat realistic. So I don't know, like, truth to what? Did anyone say there was a report of the Deebo stuff? I think it was presented as a hypothetical the whole time. My whole point was that, and I don't, it's a bad contract right now for Deebo Samuel. It's probably not going to play out. But San Francisco has a lot of cap flexibility. They're probably not going to keep Deebo Samuel past this year. They got Jennings, who needs to play more. They got Ayuk, who they just paid. They drafted Ricky Pearsall in the first round. According to reports, they tried to ship Deebo Samuel at the draft or shopped him around. He's not playing as well. And the Texans, meanwhile, he would be probably your second best running back, and he would be one of your, he would be, I don't know, anywhere from second to fourth best receiver, and you can use him in different ways. So it was just a hypothetical, like, if they could make money work, would Deebo Samuel be a good fit? My answer was yes. Oh, by the way, he knows the system. So it's not like he would come in and be having to learn much. So that was all that was. So I don't know what you mean by truth. It was never presented as anything other than that. Who's returning kicks and punts today in the open portion of practice? Pierce was returning kicks with Sims, and I think King was back there too in the line. I think, but I'm not really sure. So yeah, that's what that looked like there. The Nico Collins theory. This is my theory on Nico Collins. I think Nico Collins' hamstring's effed up. I think Nico Collins was going to miss at least 2 weeks. DeMeco Ryans told us as much. He said, and I think on Monday when we kind of heard DeMeco Ryans say, we heard him say, well, it's a week-to-week injury, and usually it takes a couple weeks for this to heal. I think he was correct. I think that there's a couple of reasons why Nico Collins is on injured reserve. And DeMeco Ryans also, by the way, he said today Nico Collins will be he said that Nico Collins will be back this year. So have no fear, Nico will be here before we know it. But I think there's a couple things that went into this. First of all, it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks, it could be 4 weeks. It's a bad hamstring. It's been acting up, and you saw him get hurt with that. It's been a problem with Nico Collins outside of last year, really. With him missing time, which was part of the the conversation when it came to paying Nico Collins, which is kind of playing out. Like the contract now looks about, it looks like a win-win for both sides. But my theory is this. I think when you look at the next 4 games, assuming, like, let's say bare minimum, Nico Collins is going to be ready in 2 weeks. Let's say that hamstring is ready in 2 weeks and he's ready to go. What are you going to be asking Nico Collins to do during that time? You know what you'll be asking him to do? If he misses this next game against New England, and then the next game against the Packers, and let's say he comes back and he's facing the Indianapolis Colts, who he owns, especially when he's in Indy, you're going to be asking him to play 2 games in 5 days, with the second one being in New York against the Jets on that disastrous, disgraceful playing surface that he got hurt on last year. So I don't think it's that it's worse than they thought. Like, if they absolutely needed that, and let's say it was the final couple games of the year, I think they would have put Nico Collins out there. But I think when you look at what the best case scenario would have been, and I think the best case scenario in this situation with the hamstring would have been 2 weeks. If you look at what you would have been asking him to do after that, it's probably worth, especially given the fact that he's helped put you in position to where you're already 2 games up in the division, you're 4-1, and you should probably win 2 of the next 4 games or something like that. You have the luxury of being a little bit careful, and I think that's what it was. I think there's a chance that had the schedule been laid out to where you play Indianapolis, and then let's say you play at home or something like that a week later, I think there's a chance that Nico Collins doesn't go on injured reserve. But that's my theory, is that you're kind of looking out for him in that manner, and you're kind of being proactive when it comes to what to do with Nico Collins. That would be that is my Nico Collins theory. Tell me if that's a dumb theory or not. Put it in the chat. But that's my theory, and damn it, I'm sticking to it. Starters not practicing, just to kind of revisit this. Nico's gone for 4 weeks. Mixon, we still don't know. Laramie Tunsil and Titus Howard. I think Tunsil's more of a rest. Howard seems like he's going to be practicing sooner rather than later. I don't know how bad the Titus Howard thing will be. Kenyon Green, again, he was out there at the beginning, and then all of a sudden he's gone, and they say he didn't practice. Like, I saw what I saw. Like, y'all have us out there for a reason, right? Like, we have a limited time where we can see practice. 76 was out there. I even looked over to Stutz and said, man, Kenny Green's pretty banged up, isn't he? Is he out there? He said, yeah, there he is. He was holding he was rotating, holding one of those like pads. And he left in between. So I keep an eye on that. I don't know. Like, it's not like it happened and it's not supposed to be. That's what happened with Kenyon Green. I don't know how many other people really noticed that, but he was freaking there. And then all of a sudden they said he wasn't. So I got eyes. They know I got eyes. That's what we're doing. We're there covering the squad. That's what happened with Kenyon Green. Then we have Jimmy Ward. Don't count on Jimmy Ward being back anytime soon. Man, he gets hurt a lot, but that's just kind of the nature of it. And then Kamari Lassiter. Keep an eye on that shoulder. He seemed fine after the game. Maybe it's something that kind of hurt a little bit later on after the adrenaline kind of wore off. But let's keep an eye on that, because the injury report is extremely crowded. Extremely crowded. But New England's not healthy either. So we'll see how that looks. We sure will. Let's hear from CJ Stroud. And I want to ask the question on the back end of this. Is the QB saves all butts formula dead? Because that was the case from 2016 to 2020. And then some would say at times last year it was the case as well, where the quarterback just had to save all butts. Is the QB saves all butts formula dead or alive? And how does that make you feel? Let's hear from CJ Stroud first.
So it was off to such a great start. How tough is it to lose him, and what do you think about the way the other guys can fill in for him?
Yeah, losing somebody like Nico is very tough, as you guys know. So Hoping that he stays good mental, get back physically, but, we're just, hoping that he just, understands that, we're going to miss him and, we got to just have other guys step up, which I think, they can. And I think Hutch will do a great job, Rob, Mitch. Definitely just next man up mentality. Got to be able to win football games without him for a little bit. Yeah, just growth, somebody who, puts his head down, works continually, just really loves the game of football, wants to be coached, and really just putting good stuff on film, in the run game, pass game. I think he showed up for us really big in his pass game. So, just really good to get him going before, he's about to, start one or, so on and so forth.
You spoke pretty highly of Drake
Boy right here.
Leading up to the draft. What do you like about his game?
I like his versatility. He's very athletic. He steps up in the pocket really well. He only runs when he has to, not when he just feels like it. So gets the ball out on time. Really elite with accuracy. Excited for him, his first start, and definitely looking forward to matching up against him.
As a fellow high draft pick who started as a rookie, is there any advice you would give someone in that situation?
Not this week. But no, I'm rooting him on. I hope he does good, not against us, but in his future.
What about the defense of the Patriots? What have you seen? Where you looking to? What's going to be the biggest challenge?
They've been really stout, so they've kind of held their team up for a while, them in their special teams, and I think they're going to start Drake, just to get a good flow on offense, which, will be interesting because their defense has been playing very well. Gonzalez has been playing really great. He's definitely a good man-to-man corner, does a really good job in that. And then 31 on the other side does a really good job. So they have a lot of good pieces on defense. Their D-line is big guys who play big and, fill up gaps, help in the run game a lot. 48 jumps off on film. He's a good player. So, just all around another good defense to play against. And
defense is weird. So he's kind of gassing up the Patriots. You're going to hear him in a second. And it is the Locker Room, #1 source for Texans digital content. I am Landry Locker. Also one half of SNL, which you hear every morning right here. Actually see, I should say, and 4:00 on Friday as a result of the final injury report. But the New England Patriots are weird because they're bottom 10 in the league in yards allowed. They're top 10 in the league in points allowed. So you kind of balance those two out. I think points matters because it means that a defense can kind of hold up a little bit. Do with that what you will. Seems like CJ is looking more at the points as far as their defense. But this is CJ, and their offense is ass. So I'm seeing someone saying, well, they're 31 in the power rankings. Yeah, their offense is ass. And the low point total could be a result of just kind of getting other teams being in pretty firm control of games at the end.
Definitely just got to be aware of just all the stuff that they do.
Even after Nico went out, you all were really good on third down. I think like 7 for 14. Did y'all come away from the game feeling like, excited about that aspect of it and something that you all felt like you all could replicate and kind of continue going forward?
Yeah, I mean, there's an upside of, being good on third down on a day where you need it. But also, trying to not be on third down as much is, something that, we can be better at. But also, owning those ops and, taking advantage of them and not just getting the first down, making them big plays, which I think that we did and got a lot of explosives on third down, which was great. So definitely got to keep that up. But, yeah, I feel like there was a good feel we got for what they were doing. They did a bunch of different coverages on their side. The Bills did, but, same thing with the Patriots. They kind of mix up their coverages and, play some man, play some zone, do a lot of different things. So just got to be aware of all of it.
You kind of indicated to us you were not happy with some of the things that the offense, maybe even you did in the second half. How do you kind of look at that stuff, learn from it, and then push it forward so maybe next time you can grow from that and maybe not have those issues?
It's part of the game. I'm not going to say I'm, happy about it, but I definitely wasn't, mad at myself. I just understood, got to bounce back from it. I mean, it's part of the league. Everybody is turning the ball over. Everybody is doing those things. But, you humble yourself and realize you got to be better from it, but you don't hold your head down. So that was kind of just my mindset during that moment. That's last
mindset.
Week. now we're on to New England. And
Mindset,
that's what I'm
young man.
focused on.
Stefon has been a high volume guy before in the offense, any offense. How much does his experience and being counted on?
Didn't look over. He's like,
Who's this? I'm saying
Stefon. In Nico's
look at this. He's like, he's looking over.
to New England, and that's what I'm focused on.
DJ's trying to get his question. I was right by DJ. He's wanting to answer DJ's, but A-Dub keeps going. Good old Aaron getting in there.
Has been a high volume guy before.
Goodness sake. Sorry.
The offense, any offense. How much does his experience and being counted on, can that help you guys?
Who's this? I'm saying
Stefon. In Nico's asks, how much can Stefon be a boost for you guys?
I think he can be great. I definitely think that, he's already a leader, but you can tell in practice today, he knows, his responsibility now. Nico's out, so that's really all of them. Everybody got to step up, and even myself included. To pick up the slack where Nico isn't playing. So definitely just gotta hold each other accountable and just be better at that. So definitely he's gonna be at the forefront of that.
You guys are sitting at 4-1. How does that kind of feel through the first 5 weeks to have jumped out to one of the best records in the league through 5 weeks?
Honestly, I feel like it's cliche, but you got to move on from it. It's definitely great to be in this position, but also I would say like we haven't played our best ball yet, so that's kind of the coolest part about it is just we still haven't played our best, and we're still 4-1, being able to win and really win in every single fashion. So I definitely feel like we can be a lot better, but and then we're still missing some guys out, which I think will help, and that'll make it even better for our whole team. So definitely exciting, but 0-0 this week. Got to play against a good New England team. Who I definitely think is slept on.
Slept on. You heard that.
You just mentioned
slept on.
Everybody step up, including yourself. Drawing back to some of your experiences, maybe even to last year where you were down 11 or 2. What is required of you when you lose a key piece just for yourself when you look at it?
Just efficiency, execution. I think those are the two main things that I think about is just being efficient. Not forcing down the field, taking what the defense gives me, but also executing when the play is there, making it happen. So just a little bit of everything, but I feel like I do that anyways, but just the mindset and the intentionality needs to be ramped up even more now.
CJ, you talked a lot about Dare and his importance in this offense.
Dare.
Now without having Nico out there, just knowing that he can be that that finds ways to keep drives alive, the importance of his role in the passing attack.
Yeah, Dare has been huge. As you guys can tell, he's not only just a great running back, but also a good pass catcher, great pass catcher, and, does a lot of great things in pass protection as well. So definitely just, I think he's just getting started as well. He'll have another great week, I feel. But, yeah, he's been huge for us, definitely on third down. I definitely feel
third down.
Do that for us.
Use him like freaking Jim Brown the other day. He got the first 4 touches.
How much of a role has that defense played?
Third down back. Treating him like a damn 4-down back.
Going back, getting you the ball so you could put them in a position to win the game.
Man, it's been huge, I always talk about just playing complementary football. It comes from DeMeco, and the more we can do that and when they need to lean on us, we're able to get another first down like the Colts, or do something to stay on the field. And then when you look at the last couple of games that we won, like we needed them to.
Everyone knows that primetime V,
which they've done. So it's just playing complementary football. Definitely is great, and I think if you ask anybody, we can definitely play better, which is the coolest thing. Like I said, but yeah, it's been huge that they've been able to do that for us.
Can you talk about getting DP back, having just one more weapon back for you guys to work with on Sunday?
Yeah, man, it's really big. I'm very happy for DP. He's worked really hard to come back. It's not easy to be injured, and he's done a good job of just trusting the plan of the training staff. And, he looks great at practice, and, hopefully, he has a great game, and I know he will. He's been working really hard. He's really motivated, so it's really big for us.
You just heard him on Dameon Pierce. Coming up in 5 minutes. Let's get into this Dameon Pierce thing, because I do wonder if we're going to see something we haven't seen in a long, long time when it comes to Dameon Pierce. I don't know how the hell that makes everyone feel. It might make you feel worse about the game, but it's a wonder. It's no guarantee. We do a lot of wondering here. We do a lot of don't want to say like breaking news, but we break stuff down, but we also do a little wondering, especially during the nighttime.
High-grade marijuana called Kush on the streets. Did you know what that was?
Now I
Me
do.
neither.
All right, Gustavo on the super chat. What are the Texans going to do at punter? I mean, Tommy Townsend's still going to go. I actually talked to Frank Ross a little bit after practice. He was leaving. I told him, man, we're going to hammer your ass tomorrow. Pause like mofo, but you know what I meant. Their special teams have been bad. Special teams have been bad. Tommy Townsend's been bad. I wonder if getting the punt blocked. I'm all about the theories today. I wonder if getting the punt blocked was something that kind of mentally got in his head a little bit. But I want to ask this CJ Stroud question, because there's been times where if the quarterback plays bad, the Texans don't have a chance of winning games. And I think that this team against the team they're playing on Sunday, now I don't know if this is going to be the case against Green Bay, but I think this team is equipped to where maybe CJ doesn't have to save all butts. Maybe CJ Stroud can play within the team. Now it's a lot more difficult without a run game, and we'll get to that Dameon Pierce thing in 4 minutes. Also hear from somebody who you thought the fever was going to die. It ain't dead. It's alive and well. He is back. He might be on the field Sunday, to be honest with you. But I think that this team is actually set up to where you're not going to need CJ to save all butts. Now, the offensive line's not great. The run game's not great. Joe Mixon can help a lot. But I think the defense is where this game is going to be won. With or without Kamari Lassiter, I think that defensive line, everything you've invested in that defensive line, no more of these advanced stats, especially against Drake May. You can't have a situation where you have one sack. This is the time where the trade up for Will Anderson and all this advanced stat stuff that we keep hearing. Oh, he's close, he's pressure and all that. And the investment, the most per year annual investment in the history of Nick Caserio as Texans GM and Daniil Hunter. This is where it pays off. And this is where the defense kind of carries the offense a little bit. And who knows, maybe the special teams can get in there, because outside of Miami Fairbairn, the special teams have been kind of blah this year. So that's where I think that this is not the CJ saves all butts formula. I think you still have plenty of talent on this squad. I think there's a lot of options on offense as to how you attack this thing. So I do think, to answer the question, I think the CJ Stroud saves all butts formula is dead for sure. I think it's dead, gone, buried, the end, especially this Sunday. This is going to be a D-line game. The D-line needs to perform. People talking about DeMeco Autry, he's going to be back after that. So you're going to have another weapon to play with. You're not going to have Nico Collins. DeMeco Autry is going to be on the field. So maybe this is time for the defense to carry the swarm, all that crap that we hear. I'm not trying to minimize it. I'm just saying I don't need something written on a T-shirt. I need a situation where you avoid the letdown. Speaking of the letdown, BetUS promo code YouTube 150. If you use that, you're going to get 150% back on your first deposit up to $2,000. So you put 100 in, you got 250. I've been a little bit aggressive lately on the betting, trying to get back in the groove. So we'll see how that goes. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because I got the 125%. Now they're giving you 150. I would have even more money in the account, but I've been being aggressive when it comes to it. We pull up the line right now. The line with New England, it's up after the practice stuff came out. Texans -7. So however you're feeling about that, I'll make a heavy bet. I'm going to wait a little bit though. But right now you have the Texans -7 BetUS right there. Over under 38. So if we're talking -7, if we can do the math here for a second, that means that they think the Texans are going to win by 7. So that means that they think that the Texans are going to beat the Patriots about 20, like 27 to like 21 to 14 ish, like in that area. So they think they're going to hold the Texans are going to hold them below 17. So that's where they're at there. So they think the defense is going to bring it. If you tell me that the Texans just need to score 20 points to win a ball game, I don't give a damn if they don't have Nico Collins and Joe Mixon. I think this offense against that defense and that offense that's going to give you plenty of chances, I think they should be able to capitalize. So that's what the smart people are saying. So sign me up for that. If you have the exact math, I would appreciate it. But yeah, 38 total, Texans win by 7. Do all that in crap, in over pot, whatever the hell we used to do in school in math. God, I hated math. Man, it sucked. But yeah, it's about 20 to 23-ish to 16 is about what they think. So they think the Texans, I would assume that the New England point total over under will be 16.5. Bet US, promo code YouTube 150. You'll get 150% bonus and enjoy that for sure. The Dameon Pierce thing. Let's get into this Dameon Pierce thing. So Bobby Slowick last week when he spoke, I asked him about the run game, and he basically said we're running out of time. And I don't know what the hell that means. I want to ask him, like, what did that mean? We're running out of time to figure out the run game. What does that mean? I listened back to it and I was like, okay, what does that mean? I'll ask him tomorrow. But I do know this. He also said that we're kind of running out of options. We know when Joe Mixon's in there, Joe Mixon can carry the majority of the workload. They've tried literally everything else. They've tried literally everything else. They've used Dare Gumbawale and given him 15 carries. He had 30 yards. They've tried to make Cam Akers carry the majority of the workload. That didn't work. J.J. Taylor didn't even touch the ball the other day. That didn't work. They've tried to use the committee approach where it's equal. That didn't work. The only thing that's worked was week 1 when Joe Mixon had the 150 against the Indianapolis Colts. So they've tried everything except one other thing. There's one other thing they haven't tried. And if you know something's not working, do you just try to hammer the point with Dare Gumbawale? I would think not. They haven't given Dameon Pierce the heaviest workload. They haven't had the chance. He hasn't been healthy. Should the Texans give Dameon Pierce the majority of the carries this week? I'm not sitting here saying that Dameon Pierce should get 25 carries in a game, but it is one of the things that you haven't tried. And they were insistent, despite the fact what we saw last year with our own eyes, where Devin Singletary was a clear upgrade. Dameon Pierce had stuff going on, system-wise and according to Nick Caserio, personal stuff. They were insistent that Dameon Pierce was running back 2. They insisted. The only thing that's really happened with Dameon Pierce, and quite frankly, when he got in for Mixon, he had a few carries. Like, he moved the chains. They've tried everything else. I don't have confidence that any of those things are going to work. So should this be the week, if Dameon Pierce is good to go, and I think he is, I think Dameon Pierce is foaming at the mouth to touch that football and run with it. Should this be the week where Dameon Pierce gets the majority of the workload? And again, that's not saying giving him the rock a lot of times. That's with how this team runs the rock, that's like 10 to 15 carries. So they let Dameon Pierce be the tone setter and let Cam Akers and Dare Gumbawale play off of him. Is there a guarantee that it works? No. Would I bet on it being an effective run game? Probably not. But is it crazy to try that? It's the one thing that you haven't tried. Why the hell not? Y'all told us that you believed in him. Let's see what the hell's up with Dameon Pierce. Let's go. I can promise you he's foaming out the mouth. He wants to be on the football field. Hell, even if Mixon's out there, do you let Dameon Pierce be RB2? Let him come in there with his physical style and stuff. See what's up. See if he can add some sort of element. Run angry. Why the hell not? Nothing else is working. It might not work. How is that any different than what's gone on? You want to see Dare Ogunbowale carry the ball 15 times? I mean, I know he's like a folk hero. Like he's getting questions asked about him with CJ. He's done a great job. He's doing a good job in his role. But do I want to see Dare Ogunbowale get 15 carries a game? No, I don't. Not even in a preseason game, honestly. He's established himself as a valuable piece of this squad. I don't need to see Dare Ogunbowale get 15 carries. I'm sorry. That's a lot. That's a hell of a lot. So let's see what the hell Dameon Pierce has got. Put his ass out there. Let him run the rock. Give him double-digit carry. If Mixon doesn't go, give him 15 carries. Sprinkle some Ogunbowale in there. Use the tight ends a little bit more as well. But give him the damn rock, man. Give him a shot. Y'all are the ones who said that you believed in him as the backup running back. You couldn't even play his ass last year. So let's see Dameon Pierce if he's active. Let's see his ass. Let's see his ass go out there and run the rock. Let's see that all this talk about figuring out the system and all that. Let's see that that's the thing. Let's get it. And you can still give Akers the ball. But I want to see some Dameon Pierce carries if he's active, and I'm assuming that he will be. On the chat, and we'll hear from the movement's still alive. The bandwagon is still here. I had to go get it out. I had to go get an oil change. I had to get my registration changed, but the bus is alive and well. I'll explain that in a sec. First, let's go to the chat. AE, does Irv Smith Jr. play for us? He practices for you. He doesn't play, but he's out there and he's practicing. I don't know what he brings. Jim Hughes says, I know it'll get an eye roll. That's not confident. That's not how you start a statement. But I am looking. You know the worst part of like a statement, in my opinion, or it's my opinion. It's like, no, duh. Like I assume that. Like when you say so, well, that's your opinion. Yeah, obviously. Like, no kidding. I know I will get an eye roll, but I'm looking for Dameon Pierce to have a decent week this week. And what I hope will be the beginning of the road back to the fan base's good graces. See? So you're on the feed Dameon Pierce wagon, Jim. I don't think you're getting an eye roll there. Seems like you're getting a lot of effing support in the chat, quite frankly. And I don't know that Dameon Pierce ever fell out of I don't know that people like really turned on him. I think there's been like a turn on Laramie Tunsil. I feel like there's a little bit of an undertone with Jimmy Ward too. I think people are tired of him getting hurt. I don't know why. I like Jimmy Ward. He's leaving it all out there. He's doing everything he can for the squad. Tommy Townsend's definitely not in the good fan graces right now. But no, I don't think he's in the bad fan grace. One Mortal 2, Swarm in the super chat.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm. Are we too reliant on Mixon to succeed? What is the same? What if it's the same production as now? We only have one full game with Mixon. If it fails, what will Bobby do? I asked him that the other day. I said, are we becoming too Mixon dependent? He won't admit it publicly. I believe that they know that they are, but I do like what you're saying because, and I've tried to explain this, but this is a really good chat. One Mortal 2, appreciate this. The thing about the Joe Mixon thing is, yes, we have a 1-game sample size. It was extraordinary. He was the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, but it was against a dog-butted defense. The Colts suck. They have the worst yardage defense in the league. They have the worst yardage defense in the league. And the very next week, they allowed 150 yards. So I would agree with you, but when I talk about this Joe Mixon thing, it's more so that he's the only hope towards having a decent run game. You know what I mean? It's not like he's going to come in here and you're going to be, just multi-dimensional, moving the rock type of offense. It's just that he's the only hope at this point. So I would agree with that. I don't know what Bobby will do. I don't know what Bobby will do if they come back and can't run the ball with Joe Mixon. I think they're really going to have to look hard in the mirror. I think they still should have to. This running back depth, it's not good. Dameon Pierce is their last hope. It's the thing they haven't done. It's not good, and it would have been easy to address, and they neglected it. Now, maybe it's another thing where they end up looking smart and making dumbass loudmouths like me look stupid. Possible. I hope that happens. I'd love for Dameon Pierce to go out there and look like a good RB2. But it's really weird. One of the weirdest things about this organization for me is that they both come from, and I mean DeMeco Ryans and Nick Caserio, they both come from organizations where multiple running backs were valued and assets were heavily invested. Now, in fairness to them, those organizations were probably a little bit further along when it came to building a complete roster once they started making these investments. So I acknowledge that completely. The 49ers, they were building a roster, and they were able to trade for Christian McCaffrey, draft Trey Sermon, even though it didn't work out, draft Elijah Mitchell in that same draft, and just continue investing in running backs. Same thing with the Patriots. Sony Michel in the first round, find Danny Woodhead, James Watt. Like, they were always investing in backs, and those backs multiple guys were making plays in big games. So I thought the Texans would value that. DeMeco Ryans' first press conference, he used the Elijah Mitchell example. We want guys who can go in space. I thought we would get some running back investment. That's one of the more surprising things to me. And I think that changes next year. The Mixon thing was a fallback too. I know that they were trying to get Saquon, but the Mixon thing was a fallback. It was a hell of a pivot by them. I think they deserve credit for that. But it is just kind of surprising. Dameon Pierce is the last ditch at that. Don't get me started on running backs. You guys know me. As soon as the draft comes around, I want like 3 of them. And I want to sign one too. I'm a pro running back guy. Maybe that you just there's just too many roster holes. In fairness to their side of the argument, maybe there's just too many roster holes. But yeah, Mixon doesn't assure the run game. I just think he's your only hope right now for a decent one. Fred, In and Out Mobile Services. Is Ward not banged up enough to go on IR? Just keep an eye on that. I wouldn't dismiss it, but let's just keep an eye on that with Jimmy. Jimmy just can't catch a break, man. Been in the league for a while. Plays very physical too. Titus Howard is now rolled out. Montego says, I don't know where you saw that. I haven't. He hasn't been rolled out by any of them. So I don't know. I don't know where the hell you're getting Titus Howard's been ruled out thing. No idea. At all. So yeah, I think that's fake news. There. I won't rule anything out till Friday. I think this week will be Akers and Pierce all day. Hopefully run with aggression and build confidence the next 4 weeks. We'll see what that happens in the game. Familiar face in the building on the practice field today. Teagan Quitoriano. Now, you guys know it kind of became a bit. It's a big Quitoriano guy. I believed in Quitoriano a couple years ago. Scored a touchdown in his first game. Made a few plays. Last year, got hurt. This year, scored a touchdown, got hurt, got waived, ended up in Chicago. Then Brevin Jordan got hurt. And then Teagan Quitoriano. He was back. And Johnny says, here we go. He knows. And you know what? Teagan Quitoriano is back. And I think Teagan Quitoriano might be active sooner rather than later. It's kind of messed up today. I got left out to dry. I'm not going to name any names. But I was just chilling. I was just minding my own business. Okay? Sitting there, To my left was Cody Stutes. To my right was somebody who probably, he just shall remain nameless. Shall remain nameless. One of the most respected football minds in town. Been known to work the sidelines. Nice guy. Very energetic. But anyway, I respect his mind. And he's always effed with me about this Quitoriano mania, which y'all have placed on me. And maybe I earned it. But we're sitting there watching practice. And all of a sudden, out of my right ear, I'm looking and I'm watching. I hear this guy say, Quitoriano looks good. I look up. He's looking trimmer. He's looking leaner. He's looking a lot more fluid than a lot of the other reserve tight ends and routes. Looks massive out there. And I whip out the phone. And I say, hey, I'm going to record what you just said, my friend. Let's run it back. So I talked on the phone. I said, hey, say what you just said. And I say it to him. And he says, no. That's the kind of island I get left out on when it comes to Quitoriano mania. That's the island. That is the lonely place that I live with Quitoriano mania. But I really do think he plays. And he was in the locker room. And I asked Quitoriano about being back in Houston and how confident he is that he could play if called upon. I think you're going to like this. I think you're going to like this confidence. He might sell you. Quitoriano. See what he's got to say about how he's feeling.
Just the move back, was it? You mentioned it was a pretty smooth move back. You didn't have to refine a place or anything like that. What was the move like from Chicago to back here?
Oh, it was so easy. Just hopped on a plane, got back here. It was actually perfect timing because I was about to ship my car to Chicago. I was about to sign a lease over there. So when I got the call, I was like, man, it's a good thing I didn't, spend all that money shipping a car, put a down payment down. So I was like, yes, let's go.
So how excited are you to be back here? Obviously, where you started your career and then had some ups and downs, mainly to do with health. Do you feel like there's kind of some unfinished business?
Absolutely. I'm excited to be back. I'm really excited to be back and just keep this thing rolling. When I got here in 2022, a huge goal of mine was to win a Super Bowl. So I want to be a part of this team winning a Super Bowl.
How are you feeling physically? That's been the biggest question mark with you. You score a touchdown, then you get hurt this year in the preseason. How are you feeling physically?
Feeling great. I'm feeling healthy. I'm excited to play. I'm feeling good.
What have you done to the body? You mentioned kind of crafting the body the last couple of months. What changes have you had to make?
Just really focusing on soft tissue stuff, making sure my muscles are strong and they're resilient under pressure, under stretch. So, a lot of stretching, a lot of yoga, and just rolling out.
Here comes the money quote.
And,
I don't think he's ready to go. Wait for this.
Stronger too. So
here's the money quote.
That's probably about
to win y'all over.
And you feel physically like if you were called upon, you would be able to play now, whether it's the playbook or anything like that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm ready to go. Anytime.
All right, appreciate you.
I'm ready to go anytime. That's what he said. Look, I don't know. I could really see him being active as the third tight end. Obviously, it's kind of a bit, but I do think that. I mean, he looks like he's 12. I don't even know. I don't even know if this guy's hit puberty yet, to be honest with you. But it almost seems like I don't want to get too deep on this. I mean, the dude was about to sign a lease, have his car shipped, and then all of a sudden they call on him to come back to Houston. It almost seems like destiny. He might be a player of destiny, I'm just kidding. But I do honestly think that he contributes in some way, shape, or form this year. I truly believe that. The other stuff is a little bit of a bit. I'm kidding on that. Someone asked if I have a nickname for him. A TQ. I mean, he doesn't deserve like a massive nickname. TQ. We'll see what happens with him, but yeah, I just feel like he's ready to go, man. I feel like he's ready to go. Reaching with the destiny bit. Yeah, I reached for sure. I reached. But hey, he signed the lease. Do you think they do Bears people favors? Like, do you think they do Bears players favors if they sign a lease? Like, do you think he could, if Teagan Quitoriano signed an apartment lease? He said that his girl lived here still. So she stayed in Houston, and then they were going to move back to Chicago, but they still had the same apartment. So he didn't even have to move. So he literally got to, like, sometimes when you get picked up, it's like, oh, crap, man. I got to go to practice. You're probably living out of your car or whatever. They probably put you in a hotel. No one likes living in a hotel. Let's be honest. It's fun to go to a hotel. Remember when you were a kid, you go to a hotel, whether it was a Motel 6 or Marriott, where the hell you could afford to go. Palace Inn, who knows? Avoiding the stuff on the sheets at the Palace Inn. You used to like jump on the bed whenever you would get in the hotel. But nobody wants to live in a hotel. You don't want to like be jumping on the bed that you actually live in. He didn't have to do that. My man just hopped in, went to the normal apartment. He probably still had the fob. Just opened it up, went right in there. Might have stopped and got some. I don't know. He doesn't look like he's eating fast food anymore. Promise you that. I'm telling you, man. I'm pissed that John Harris. The guy that was to my right wouldn't acknowledge that he said that Quitoriano looked good. He just wanted to leave me on this bit island that I'm on. I'll embrace it. It's fine. Now, the problem is, this is the problem with being lonely on a bandwagon. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe I have some people with me or not. I'm just talking about it as like a solid number 3 tight end. This team needs a number 3 tight end. They need one that can block, maybe free up Dalton Schultz. You know what I mean? Like if you're not going to have Nico Collins and you don't know what's going to happen on the offensive line, don't you want like a tight end that's like can block and free up Dalton Schultz a little bit to where he can go run some routes and him and CJ Stroud can make third down magic? I wouldn't mind it. But this is the problem, man, with this wagon that I'm driving. I can't get in the HOV lane because I'm driving by myself. I'm sitting in a bus and I'm driving by myself. I don't even have 2 people in this Quitoriano mania with me. John Harris could have hopped in. John Harris wouldn't do it. Cody Stutes, that dirty SOB Cody Stutes, he is all about Quitoriano. He just won't admit it because he wants to leave me not being able to get in this HOV lane. It's whack. You know, it's fine. I'll just sit in traffic, man. I'll listen. I'll re-listen to SNL, which you should too. You can download on all podcast platforms. I did it. So when I'm sitting here trying to get to the Woodlands from where I live and it's a 3-hour drive, I'll just listen to all week of SNL on all podcast platforms, which you can too. Would you be able to see what QBs are running with the first team in practice? Yeah, I'll check. I mean, I don't. If they do team, normally they have us out of there when they're doing team. For the most part, it's a lot of drills, but I'm trying to think about who they have out there. I almost wonder if it's going to be Hallman or Boyd. I'm almost. I mean, I know that Dez was good last year, but we might see Chris Boyd play some stuff. How do they patrol the HOV lane? I've always wondered. I don't know. I've seen some people that get blow up dolls and just put them in the passenger seat and put a seatbelt around it and drive to the HOV lane. That's what I might have to do. I might have to order a blow up doll in this Quitoriano bandwagon. I think I'm just gonna have to I know some of you sickos probably know where you can get blow up dolls. I'm not trying to get like the realistic one with like the private parts, just a body blow up doll or something like that. Maybe like a life-size doll from the fair or something. I need to get in the HOV. This is Houston, man. We got to get this right. Quitoriano highlight tape is 5 seconds. Let me think. Nah, dude, you had the touchdown in the first game. You had the 50-yard reception against the Colts, the game that people didn't want them to win, but they ended up winning, and they got CJ Stroud. You had And then you had the preseason touchdown, I think. I think that's at least like 26 seconds right there, right? That's 26 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, I think Hallman would be a good bet. The other thing though about it is I don't know that it's just one guy, because that's the thing that I like when DeMeco says we're going to play our defense. I'm like, okay, so you're going to play 2 corners and 2 linebackers no matter what? Because whether it's Hallman, whether it's Boyd, whether it's Bryant, whether it's King, like, are you confident those guys are going to go out there and play 100% of the snaps effectively like Kamari Lassiter? So I almost think it's going to have to be a couple of guys. I don't think you take, like, if let's say Jalen Petrie goes out, let's say he needs a breather or whatever. I don't think they're going to take someone and say, all right, you go do what Jalen Petrie's doing. It's a little bit different with the corner, but I think they might actually be playing more corners now. Steven Nelson, no thank you. I think that ship is kind of sailed. I also think he kind of left it all out there. I'm interested in Quitoriano blocking ability to help the team. It's never been completely consistent, if we're being honest. But I mean, the thing that we said in preseason about Quitoriano, God, Quitoriano is getting a lot of airtime. This was not my goal. You're comparing him to Schultz and Brevin Jordan when it comes to blocking. It's like when Blake Fisher fills in for Titus Howard and someone's like, well, he got blown up on that one play. It's like, when have you ever watched Titus Howard play offensive line and not said, oh, he got blown up on that one play? There's been a couple of good performances. But yeah, he did, but that's what he's filling in for. So the blocking, I think it's not like he's going against that. So yeah, I think it'll be multiple corners. How's Akuda? I don't know. He's walking. I don't think he was ever not walking. He's walking, and he seems in good spirits. Making it sound like he died. I don't know. I guess he's fine. Who knows when Akuda comes back? Elsewhere in the AFC South, I'm going to ask you this. Can you root for the Titans? Can you root for the old Oilers? Because if you can, they did you a favor last year by beating the Jags. They allowed you to host the Cleveland Browns instead of going to Buffalo in the playoffs. They could do it again this week because they are going to face an Indianapolis Colts team that's going to be without Michael Pittman Jr., could be without Jonathan Taylor, and could be without their starting quarterback. Colts are in a bad spot. And oh, by the way, the Colts, 2 games behind the Texans. If the Titans beat them and the Texans take care of business, you're 3 games up in the division, 6 games into this, with still 4 games remaining in the division. And all these other teams are going to have to play against each other. That is an insane lead. So I know a lot of you can't do it. You can't root for the old Oilers. You might want to this week. Maybe get your old Oiler hats and whatever, and figure that out. Yeah, hope they both lose. Can't both lose. Can't both lose. Can't do that. So we'll have to see how that goes. But I think you should be rooting for the Titans. I'm not going to tell you what to do though. Coordinators speak tomorrow. We're going to hear from Bobby Slowick. We're going to hear from Frank Ross. Bobby, what's up with this run game, man? Dameon Pierce is the one thing that you really haven't tried. What is his workload when he gets in there, and what is we're running out of time mean, Bobby? Can you explain that to me, my friend? Don't make fun of my hat either this week, please. Although I made fun of his hats all last year, for being honest. So yeah, you can do that if you like. Kind of deserve it. It's a little dirty. Happens. But it's cool. We'll wait till they give you that next team issued, though, and your head you look like you're wearing one of those big ass hats. Get back at Bobby. Got that ready. Next time, man, just wait till they give him like the military cap or something like that. He's looking like Sergeant Slaughter. Be clowning him, roasting him like a damn marshmallow. Frank Ross, you got to explain yourself on special teams too, my friend. He thinks we're too nice to him. That's what he says. Yeah, we're too nice to me. I'm like, I'm not. Not, but yeah, Frank Ross. Shout out to him. Good Lord, Matt Marr. You're crazy, dude. This is very insane of you, but yeah, thank you. For CB2, give me Troy Pride Jr., give me death. You loved him and Brandon Scott loved him too. I did not love him, but I don't really love a lot of these corners, if we're being honest. I think it's all kind of the same. For sure. Thanks for swarming the super chat like a mofo.
Swarm.
But yeah, I don't love any of these corners, dude. I really don't. I've got a lot of love for you right now, though. You're the MVP. No doubt. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Matt Burke. I don't ask Matt Burke a lot of questions. I'll be honest. Like I like Matt Burke. Like if I could talk to Matt Burke, I thought about asking this the other day because I really want to know this. Tell me if this is like I don't want to turn it into weird because there's people in the media room. They're like looking at you like, oh, they're asking like questions that you can ask like any week. Talk about New England. What do they pose? What's it say about Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter going out there and making tackles and, pressuring? You know what I want to know from Matt Burke? This is the real question I want to know because, quite frankly, I don't know that it's his defense, okay? I think it's DeMeco's defense. I think they do a team effort. I think he does a good job, and I like Matt Burke a lot. Got to interview him on the radio a couple times. It's way more fun. This guy's crazy, Matt Burke. He's Ivy League. He like goes running with bulls. He like swims with sharks. He jumps out of helicopters. Like he goes like backpacking through cities. Like he's crazy as hell, Matt Burke. Crazy, smart. You can tell. Like anytime you ask a question, he like repeats it to make sure you're not a dumbass. You're sitting there like nervous. It's almost like the teacher's grading your paper when he repeats your question. Because you're like, man, is he going to make me feel like a dumbass or not? Nah. Then he answers the question. You can kind of tell, but he'll be like, hey, Matt, what's up with the cover 3? What's up with the cover 3? Oh, well, and then he like snaps out of it. If it's dumb, though, he just kind of looks to the side. Haven't gotten that yet. This is what I want to know about Matt Burke. This is the question I would want to know before I get the hell out of here. I'm being dead serious about this. You guys tell me if this is a good question or not. Like if this is more interesting than asking about Drake May and preparing for Drake May. Yes, he climbs freaking mountains, dude. He's nuts. Shout out to Jordan. Appreciate you, my friend. Drake May will be embarrassed. Swarm. All right, gotcha. It said Matt Burke looks like Cody with a better beard. Cody's beard is pretty weak, isn't it? For being honest, it's pretty weak. Like it's probably one of the weaker beards I've ever seen. And that's coming from me. I got the Native American in me, so I can't even grow a beard. I can only grow it right here. I look like an idiot. So I can't even grow a beard, but his beard's trash. Let's be honest. Don't tell him I said that, or you can. The big question Landry wants to know is he's a burger or pizza guy. Nah. That's crazy. I want to know if Matt Burke, who's Ivy League and crazy as hell, if he were like a middle school coach or a high school coach, what subject would he teach? That's what I want to know about Matt Burke. What subject would Matt Burke teach? You're Ivy League, you're crazy as hell. What subject would you teach? I want to ask that at a normal ass press conference, though. Look like an idiot. So I just stay quiet. I don't want to just ask a question to ask a question. What do you think about Stevenson as the running back? That's what I want to know. I want to know what subject he would teach. I asked DeMeco this question actually a while ago. This wasn't at a press conference. He said he would teach math. I think he half-assed it. I don't think DeMeco really wanted to. I just think he was just not taking my question serious. I don't think he put a lot of thought into it. He's just kind of like, really wanted to know. What would Matt Burke teach? Who knows? Yeah, Stutz' hair is solid. I agree with that. The hair is solid. The beard is ass. That's what we'll start with on SNL tomorrow, 9:00. Actually, we're going to play the Nico game. Realistic. We have a game plan tomorrow. Y'all need to join in 9:00. If you don't rise and grind at 9, and I hate people who say rise and grind, so maybe I just hate myself because I just said that. You go ahead and you download it on any podcast form, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, whatever. Subscribe, boom. You don't even have to watch it. When you're in the car, put the Bluetooth up and ride along. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Be sure to ride along. Shout out to Matt and all the supers. Much appreciated. And always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together. Thank y'all so much for coming through. I'll answer this question on the way out. Beef quesadillas or chicken quesadillas? Chicken quesadillas. Beef's good too, but chicken's a little bit safe. Now, man, I don't know. Combo, can I go combo? I don't know. I'll sit on the fence. Appreciate y'all for coming through. We're all in this together when it comes to this Texan stuff. Practice tomorrow. We got the report. SNL starting at 9. Gracias.
Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localized every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we not 2. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days, opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up, we number 1. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah.